Hello, simmers, and swingers. Another summer, another expansion pack. And this pack has really put the X in expansion pack. When I saw the announcement for this pack, I got the same overwhelming feeling that I get when my ex texts me, "You up? Are you up? Can you even get it up?" And there were certainly many things in this trailer that were up. If you get what I'm swinging, they should have named this the XXX expansion pack. In my last video, I was discussing that The Sims seems to have dialed back a lot on the more adult themes, mainly surrounding sex and relationships. Progressively over the years, The Sims has geared its advertisements at younger and younger demographics, and it seems to have completely lost touch with its original audience. The only way I can describe the original trailer for The Sims 2 is, well, horny. But this pack is truly bringing sexy back. The trailer alone had me scared that they were going to bring back rosebuds. And I'm not talking about the Sims 1 cheat. This feels like a complete return to tradition. So let's get ready to goon and swoon. Here is my review of the Sims 4 Lovestruck expansion pack. But before we get hot and take off all our clothes, there is something I simply must disclose. It's that I'm a slam poet. The jig is up. No, it's actually that this portion of the video is sponsored by The Sims. Just wanted to specify this section of the video because they have made it very clear that I am absolutely free to give my opinion on the pack throughout the rest of this video. But we wanted to have a little fun together to celebrate the release of The Sims 4 Lovestruck. I'm single, they're The Sims girls. And they've even sent me some brownies and a romantic poem. Sims, are you flirting with me right now? Sims team, just say you want me. Ooh, let me just... In the Sims realm where stories flow, Steffo Sims makes love's magic grow. From speed builds to energetic plays, her Sims find love in countless ways. That they do. With humor bright and creativity grand, love blossoms in her digital land. Throughout every video, her passion gleams. In Sims world, she realizes dreams. Steffo Sims, a creator so fine, her love for the game does brightly shine. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Right, we gotta try one of these. Rigby, not for dogs. Hello?
You're eating my face!
Who wants a taste of me? I know you want a taste of me. Rigby, you're gonna need to stop licking my leg. Listen, he agrees, I taste really good. In the Lovestruck expansion pack, you can find the woo to your who in all new ways in an all new city. With the Cupid's Corner dating app, you can find hot new singles in your area. Maybe even a simtuationship. We've all been there, and even Sims you've saved from the gallery may appear on the dating app. I just uploaded Tisha Potatoes to the gallery, just saying. The game is now available to purchase on the EA app, and you can also use my creator code Steph at checkout if you would like to support me and the channel. I'm trying to meet my match. Touch me! And thank you again to The Sims for sponsoring this section of the video. Call me. Into Create a Single, we are of course going to be playing with Tisha Penetration today.
What was that?
This pack being about the invisible string of love, it was incredibly important that they also included the invisible G-string of love. The clothes in this pack are perfect. No notes. I've complained a lot about The Sims being afraid of being silly goofy a lot recently. This is The Sims. I want to have fun. Whatever happened to having fun? I want to wear my full body fish suit to the night market. You're eating fish. I'm eating, fish. But slap my ass and call me goofy because this is about as silly as it gets. Speaking of asses, there's a peach suit, an eggplant costume, fishnets, a catfish suit. I want to wear my full body fish suit to the night market. They even put in the BBL pants in this game. We of course have new hairs. A lot of the hairs are up, include big buns, or are pushed back for practical reasons. You know, love to suck. Speaking of holes, there's new earrings, chains of the necklace variety, and accessories, including a sleep mask, which I cannot wait to see random townies pulling up to the function in. They do say love is blind. And with all the rhinestones on the clothes, you can touch my body like it's Braille. Touch my body. We also finally have real eyelashes, so you can flutter your little lashes at Pookie. Although saying that these lashes are thick, sharp, and chunky. So if you're not careful, you may pokey out Pookie's eyeballs.
You need to leave!
There are 2 new traits, romantically reserved and love bug. We do already have a romantic trait in the base game, so I don't really know what the difference is, but it's there. And there's also 2 new aspirations, one called Paragon Lover, which is about being romantically satisfied in multiple relationships all at once, getting that aspiration, and Romantic Explorer. We also finally have turn-ons and turn-offs in the categories of way of life, characteristics, romantic styles, hair color, outfit color, and fashion style. Some of these are actually really funny. I set Tisha's type as being broke, emotional, married men. The Sims 2 had a similar system, but that included a few more physical features like body preferences, makeup, piercings, peanut size. I understand why they didn't include physical features, but I do think there is a difference between a preference and a prejudice. Why can't I say that word? Some people, potentially me, like their partner's hairy. That gorilla chest gives them that gorilla grip. Also, having a category for clothing color is stupid. There, I said it. I said it. Nobody has ever not liked someone because they were wearing a red shirt. And if they did, it would be a red flag. And you're probably thinking, multiple partners? Well, yes. This pack includes new romantic and sexual boundaries, so your sim can be in an open polyamorous relationship and spread their seed across the world in pollination. I actually think this is really cool. The Sims has made so much progress in terms of gender expression that the relationships being so binary was starting to feel incredibly outdated. But outdated, more like I'm going out and dating everyone all at once. And you can also set them as your partner or fiance in Creator Sim now. So you don't have to start off the game as roommates with your intended partner. And finally, you can also set their romantic dynamic in Creator Sim, but we will unpack that later when we find out what the gameplay is packing. For the love pack, we of course needed somewhere hot to go. So we have a new Mexican-inspired city world. See you, Dad Enamorada. Excuse the pronunciation, but I will see your dad later tonight. Anyway, speaking of seeing your dad, there is actually a family in the town where the mum is seeing one of the son's friends. All consenting age, but wow. Motherfucker. There's 3 areas. Nouveau Corazon, which translates to New Heart. New Heart just dropped, and this is more of a high-rise nightlife area where other things may also rise. And it also includes city living penthouse lots, which are being reintroduced in this pack, probably for all the pent-up frustrations. Plaza Mariposa, which translates to Butterfly Park and is the perfect place to go on a romantic picnic, walk the dog, dogging perhaps. And finally, Windows Vista Hermosa, which translates to beautiful view and is more of a suburban area with a laguna, a lounge, the wall of love where you can declare your love and write on the wall, which is really sweet. I've only experienced the stone walling of love. And it also includes something that I never imagined in my wildest fantasies. Well, I did imagine it. In fact, I built one in the last expansion pack, but I never thought we would get an official one. A woohoo motel. Unfortunately, it is a rabbit hole, not a new lot type, not a new fort type, so you can't actually see anything. You can get it on like rabbits, but you can't see the holes. Into Build by Love, or BBL for short. For Build, you can really let everyone know that you're a freak in the sheets from the streets. Your ugly man cheats on you, paste some cheetah print wallpaper on his wall so everyone can know from the outside of his house, or let the whole neighborhood know that you're a lesbian by building the Pink Pony Club. There's also a lot of gym equipment. You know, I gotta lift weights so that I can pick up my princess when she's feeling down. Although the weights aren't actually usable objects, they're just decoration. Can you imagine if The Sims introduced protein bros and dating in the same pack? We'd all be in situationships. I was really scared. As always, we have a bunch of new chairs, but if you prefer, I know somewhere else you might like to sit. Ew. I'm disgusting. A new woohoo rug, a chaise lounge for painting Sims like your French girls, a sofa with lips, the mouth kind. Felt the need to specify. New bars, including a rounded version, and the return of the infamous vibrating heart bed.
Vibrating bed, Daddy!
Again!
Why can't I fucking do this? Sorry, I'm from this generation. In terms of new items, this pack really hasn't been afraid of being tacky and fun. A lot of The Sims 4 is just modern farmhouse hell, so I'm really glad to see various animal prints and a lot of early 2000s Sims 2 vibes. So I can finally make the disgusting shag pad of my dreams!
Pussy belongs to me.
Hooray! Speaking of, they also introduced rounded pools, so we can finally make the swimmer's pool. Even though we did get the return of penthouses in this pack, I decided to build my own tower because if Tisha lived in a penthouse, we would need to rename it to the Repent House. Hello? I took him to my penthouse and I freaked it. So in honor of the freak pack, may I present to you my magnum opus, much like the condom, the Pus Palace. Or PP for short. Although arguably nothing is short about it. Some of my own friends were shocked when I showed them this abode I had built.
Chat, content warning for peen. Chat, look at how this is crazy. The little heart around the... It's a little peeny weeny. It's a little peeny weeny.
But I really don't get why it's such a big deal though.
I've got a big deal though. I've been a nasty girl, nasty. I've been a nasty girl, nasty.
It is now time to play with the game and play with ourselves.
What was that?
But before we get into dating, we first have to find a ting to date. And we have the new Cupid's Corner dating app to help us out. I've been using the mod Simda personally for years, so this felt like such an obvious choice for this pack. Simda. But this in-game app allows you to create a dating profile, secure matches, and then either add them as a contact or organize a date. The game automatically generates you a profile, so you unfortunately can't catfish other Sims, but you can only show them your good traits and wear the catfish suit in your profile picture, and then, yeah, maybe I did catch them hook, line, and sinker. Is that fish lingo? I don't know. Do I look like I go fishing? And there's a bunch of new poses when you go to take your profile picture. The Sims are about to start hitting their dress to impress pose 28. I decided to pose with the house so that he knows what I'm packing at home. I don't need to go out for PP, I've got PP at home. There's also no rejection on the dating app, so even if you and the other Sim have zero compatibility and your Sim's a kleptomaniac arsonist, you will still get a match and use that match to burn their house down. The potential matches mostly spawn from townies and unfortunately randomly generated Sims. So get ready for the game to spawn in your custom content abominations holding a dead fish for you to date. But you may also have Sims from the gallery appear, which is an equally terrifying prospect. Not even God knows what Sims freaks I've been liking on the gallery. Speaking of freaks, the first Sim I found on the app was Jason Skinrash, who is for some reason giving BBL in his profile picture. BBL. There's a new dating system. Yes, we already have dating in the game, but this is like the My Wedding Stories upgrade. Sorry, trigger warning, My Wedding Stories, except you can't schedule dates in advance. I want to see my Sims get nervous and start kicking their little feet. Or make my shy loner Sims get swamp-ass pre-date and drop their hygiene level to the bottom. My hygiene bar may be at the bottom, but that won't stop me from being a bottom. But you can create a date or go on a blind date and leave it up to fate. Fucking bars. There's 3 types of date: get to know you date, romantic date, and romantic repair date. You select the location, invite guests if you want to, a cuck, perhaps, select activities, and you'll have goals for the date based on those activities. So if you want to plan out your next dick appointment, just select the only activities as flirting, kissing, and woohooing. Because the dates are so goal focused, you have to strictly do the activities that you had planned, so there is no room for spontaneity. Sims now have a physical attraction and also overall satisfaction in romantic relationships. As you can see, Tisha is attracted to Jason and very satisfied in the relationship, but unfortunately, like me, Tisha's type is men that don't want her. Because he said attraction? You're right, I guess. I mean, despite the neutral attraction, Jason was still keen to see the bean because he asked 5 minutes into the date to go back to her house. Yes, you can now extend dates or change venues, but who says let's go back to your place at 10 a.m? Anyway, needless to say, I accepted the invitation without reservation. Time and place. And the time is now and the place is my place. And romance is now a skill, so there are plenty of new ways to woo your who. Sims obviously start out at 0 and it goes all the way up to level 10 with new romantic interactions being unlocked along the way. Can't relate, I'm already level 10 in real life. They call me Steffo because I give you the big O. I've been a nasty girl. They danced, they laughed, they kissed. She showed him her peach using the costume trunk, and then he said, "Let me see your junk." I decided to test out the new Rub and Tug rug and unfortunately discovered that when the bear wraps up, it has a very fleshy appearance. It looks like a hairy flesh burrito. But speaking of wrapped up, you definitely should keep it wrapped up because imagine trying to explain to your kids that they were conceived in an NYC park. Also, I recently found out on a trip to the Netherlands that there is a place in Amsterdam where you can freely have public sex, just not near the playground for obvious reasons. But let's go to the park and I'll show you my Netherlands. Anyway, after their special hug in the rug, they unlocked a new romantic dynamic. There's 4 of these: wholesome, unpredictable, strained, and the one we got, steamy. It was a new day, time to rise and pine, and I decided to test out the blind dates. We went to the new singles club, but his seductive dance moves gave me such a violent ick that instead of being on a blind date, I wanted to be blind on the date. But then while dressed as a big dong, I saw Big Don Lothario, from across the bar, and I really digged his vibe. He matched my freak. Unfortunately, flirting with other Sims while on a date doesn't tick off your goals, so that does mean that if you go on a date as a throuple or a quadrille, as Simmer swingers, only one of your partners will count towards having a good date. Just wanted to fact check myself. If they are a part of the group, they do count. Don just happened to be there, so sorry for spreading lies and propaganda. So I was forced to pretend that a relative had got into a fatal car accident and abruptly end the date. And we don't even have cars in The Sims. The date may have been a flop, but at least Tisha woke up to some morning wood. And by that, I mean Don came over in the morning and I would. So they later went out to do some stargazing together, which you'll see a lot of couples around town doing. Unfortunately, ours was rudely interrupted by a "you up" text from Jason. You up? Are you up? Can you even get it up? I have a heart bed and I'm all alone and lonely. Good. Anyway, the stargazing was very sweet, but Tisha's not a very wholesome kind of girl. Stargazing, she's just trying to have men gaze upon her brown star. So they went to the new Woohoo motel and it was fireworks on the outside of the building. I couldn't actually see anything, but I'm sure it was also fireworks inside. In fact, it was so good that without me even telling them, they just did it again. And then again, but this time in the janitor's closet at the bar. I mean, getting dirty where they keep it clean. But then, who do I see at the gay bar? Jason Skin Rash on the bar chair. Relationships are all about trust, and unfortunately, he was not truthful about his boundaries. So how was Tisha supposed to know that cheating would be a deal breaker? This immediately brought up the strained relationship dynamic, but interestingly, you do have the option to reject this.
No, thank you.
Yes, I did cheat on him at the bar. I know he frequents, and I blew him off to blow someone else off, but other than that, I would describe our relationship as entirely healthy. I did try going on a romantic repair date, but that actually made things worse. So instead I tried showing up at his house and forcing him to go to relationship counseling. That's right, The Sims now has therapy. THERAPY. This is actually quite cool. You can select The Sims choices yourself, and hopefully by the end of it, they'll be in a better mood and more open to working on the relationship. Although I'll have to save that for later because I got a call from Nancy Landgrab telling me that she had bought Social Bunny and Cupid's Corner and wanted to give me a gift. I obviously accepted, but apparently if you refuse, your Sim will get a moodlet saying, "Social Bunny has never been the same since that wealthy weirdo took over." Speaking of X-rated things, the meeting took place at the Woohoo motel, and she just wanted to queen out, give me gifts, and trade Pokemon cards with her. Who's that Pokemon? It's elongated muskrat. Another NPC you can meet is this really sad bear. If you ask him why he's so sad, he'll explain that he threw his ring into a nearby pond and couldn't retrieve it because he sucks at fishing. I couldn't bear to see him so sad, so I walked away and ignored him for the majority of this video. Anyway, back on a date with Dawn, while they were writing their names on the romantic wall and being cucked by the bear, Tisha got a call to appear on a reality dating show, 7 Wild Dates, where upon achieving 7 perfect dates in a time scenario, you win a grand prize. And you win a prize. And you win a prize. And you also consent to being filmed 24/7 for an entire week straight. In my headcanon, this is Trisha on the H3 Bachelor, and that is my truth.
We'll get Moses in here too. Now, that's his name, yeah.
Our date with Don being number 1, we were now on to number 2. Tisha had now unlocked the scan the room interaction with the romance skills, so I went to the club and stood all mysteriously by myself in the corner when this new sim from the pack caught my eye. I think his name is Carlos, but I'm gonna call him Don Light Fario, but that meant that I knew exactly how to get this man and how to get his, including this new steamy makeout.
You're eating my face!
Speaking of, her catfish cooch was so severe that it made him form a steamer. Date number 2, literally. The room scanning seemed to work a treat, so for date number 3, I decided to have Tisha go to the gym, do a little squat until a man looked at her and simply said, "I got to have her." And it was a very aerobic workout they had together. Speaking of workout, both Don and Don Light were both at the gym and saw her, so now I think they're gonna have to work it out on the remix.
Let's work it out on the remix.
But this did beg the question, how was I going to date 7 men at once without getting caught? Like a catfish on the line. And so I came to the conclusion that I would simply have to sweep all of them off their feet and abduct them and put them in a basement so they would never come face to face. I'm so silly like that. He's fine. The AC is on, he has water, and he's watching the romance channel on his Penguin TV. I'm not gonna lie, this new TV channel had me feeling like an iPad baby, and this is my Coco Melon. Anyway, for those relationships that exist outside of the norm of in-game labels, you can now create your own custom labels, which is amazing for step family that don't register in the game, your dick appointment, your basement dwelling Discord kitten. Speaking of unlabeled relationships, King Charles left his what the fuck am I talking about? King Charles left his mistress Chlamydia Parker Bowles at the castle to go have a walk around the local museum where him and Tisha had a meet cute. Who the fuck wrote this? And this was the beginning of date 4. Tisha's womb being King Charles's Horcrux, it made sense that they would both cross paths eventually, and cross paths they did. The new picnic blanket, like the bear rug, doubles as a woohoo blanket, so you can both eat out and eat out. Another one locked in and locked up. Throw away the key. Another day, another date, and I wanted to see if I could once again repair the romance. And did they repair the relationship? A, yes. B, no. D, he's nuts. And the answer is B. B also standing for breakup, because Sims you don't control can now autonomously break up with you if you do something like flirt with the cute waiter in front of them. How was I supposed to know? Anyway, to recover from the brutal breakup, I went on a quick pick-me-up date with Carl Carlson. They had ice cream and coffee because he wants that me espresso, and then she made him ice cream. Carl Carlson, more like I'm trying to make a Carlson. I need help. For the next date, I gave a second chance to Cupid. Corner, matched with Father Winter. He's already a father, but I can make him a father again. And even though all of the dates so far were perfect by definition, not a single sim so far had been attracted to Tisha. Even her ex, who I sent X-rated pictures to lure him over and put him in the basement with the rest of the roster. And so for her final date, I decided to set her up with the Bachelorette's brother-in-law, Moses.
We'll get Moses in here too. Now, that's his name, yeah.
And boy did he part her legs like the Red Sea. When she asked for his attraction, he was very attracted to her. Even the stupid depressed bear couldn't stand to see her so happy after completing the 7 dates challenge, winning 25,000 simoleons, and becoming a 3-star celebrity. So I found it in my heart to finally help him. Help her. Tish like fish, Moses parts water. It was meant to be. We quickly found the ring in the heart pond, took it to the wall of love, and gave it a good rub to activate it. My ring also gets activated when it's rubbed. And the ring was revealed to be called the Riz Ring. Sims team, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. What are they going to add to the game next? Gooning? I mean, they may as well have, because Tisha took Moses back to see her other ring, and upon trying on costumes, the name of Woohoo changed to Noodle With, Compare Peaches, and Show Eggplant. But now that she had the ring, it was time to give it away. And he was with her from the start. he was always in her heart. Though she strayed far, he was Moses, my superstar. Love you, Moses. There is a heartbreak death in this pack, including one where you choke on chocolates, but somehow after proposing in front of my 7 other boyfriends, none of them died. And nobody's gonna die? Some boyfriends they are. Tried as I must, I only saw the other kind of choking. Although King Charles did die of embarrassment after trying to flirt with her. King Charles passed away. Trisha must be pregnant.
Oh my God.
It is now time to unpack whether this pack is packing. To woohoo or not to woohoo? That is the question. As well as all the dating and romance options, there is also a new career, the matchmaker career, where at level 8 you can choose between becoming a matchmaker or a relationship counselor and go around and give Sims unsolicited sex advice. I mean, I didn't need a career for that. I do that anyway, but it's okay. It's fine. I feel like a lot of the recent packs stay very much on theme in terms of what they add to the game, which seems like a weird thing to complain about, but packs like The Sims 2 Nightlife, which have a similar dating focus, also contain things like witches, restaurants, cars. Let me get knee deep in the passenger seat. Is a casual now. I also think this pack would have lent perfectly to a dance or drag career. What does drag have to do with love? Well, drag is love. Everybody say love. I know this is the Love to Suck pack, emphasis on being in love, but I do wish there were a few more love sucks interactions, like going on a break. We were on a break! And being caught cheating is still solely dependent on your partner catching you in the act. You still can't confess to cheating if you feel overwhelmed by guilt. I also think the new dating system is a little bit messy. I wish it worked more on the basis of positive and negative interactions. My sim could be rejected from every single romantic interaction, but because one of the date activities was fishing and I spent half the date casting my line, I could still get an overall decent rating. It's giving clownfish. But even with those few critiques, this has got to be the most fun I've had playing The Sims in a while. Obviously different packs appeal to different people, but I truly feel like this pack was made for the sinners and not the simmers. It's incredibly unserious. It brought back a lot of the raunchy aspects that The Sims 4 has been violently missing, and it has so many references to older Sims games. As always, I think the bang for your buck, the bang for your fuck is overpriced, but this definitely is a pack that I would take hot to go. You can take me hot to go. Thank you again to EA for sponsoring this video. And also a big fat thank you to my Patreon supporters. I also wanted to give a shout out to the Simmers for Palestine charity event that me and Lil Simsy put together. The event was last month over on Twitch, but we've already raised $250,000, which is insane. So if you would like to donate, I'm going to continue fundraising. The link will be in the description. Anyway, if you've been edging along, you can finally stop now. The video is over. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Or not, which will be Sims Medieval. Goodbye.